Hey everybody, Chris Eggleston here, and in this video we're going over product and subscription setup, and this is going to be setting up inside of Stripe. Okay, so we're going to be logging into our Stripe account and setting up our product subscriptions in there. So one note about this is that within Stripe we're primarily just going to be doing subscription or reoccurring products. Okay. Um, it's not designed, the plugin is not designed so that you set up one-time purchases in Stripe and then pull them in the plugin. It will actually show you in another video how to set up one-time payment products, one-time fee products and services in the plugin itself. Okay, but right now we're going to go into Stripe and we're going to set up our reoccurring or subscription options. So here we are in Stripe. Now, one very important thing that you need to know when doing this is that um, for with Stripe, we talked about the test account, and then your live account. Okay, so you got the two different ones. Now, when you're setting up products, because we're going to want to test this um, before we actually launch the store, because we want to make sure that we're going to be able to actually collect the money, and people aren't getting errors and frustrated and never come back to buy from us. So we're going to test this. So we want to make sure that we're setting up products in both the test and the live. Now the trick with this is to make sure that you're using the same product IDs. Okay, and I'm going to show you that, but this is very important because otherwise, if you set up all your products in test and then you go set them up in live and you don't use the same product IDs, you'll have to reconfigure everything inside of your WP Simple Pay plugin. Okay, so if they're not the same, if they're not using the same IDs in test and in the live products, they won't work. Okay, so I'm going to show you that so it makes more sense, but this is very important. I don't want you to miss that. So the section that we're going to be working with inside of Stripe for all of our products and subscriptions is the billing section here on the left. And then subscriptions, this just shows like your actual subscribers who's actually subscribed. Okay. Products, this is where you actually set up your products. And you'll see I have a few of them already set up here. But we're going to go ahead and set up some more. So we'll just do a couple different ones. So this one, let's just do a basic subscription. Okay, so we can call it whatever fits your business. I'm going to call this window cleaning because I want to show you that you can do this for pretty much any type of service. Unit label. So let's see. This is going to be on the checkout and on the customer's receipt or invoice. So this is going to be, let me just put service in here for now. Statement. So what the customer sees on their bank statement so they can identify it. What I normally do is company name. So I would put my company name in here. So like Clear Clean Windows, whatever. And then we create the product. So the product's created, so now we're jumping into creating our first pricing plan. Okay, so you have a product, and this is how it's organized. Product, and then within the product are pricing plans. So you could have just one pricing plan within the product, but you could have multiple pricing plans. So you could have a pricing plan that's for monthly and yearly. You could have a pricing plan that's monthly or semi-annually or quarterly, and then you can have these different variations of pricing plans under one product, which is really nice because it used to be within Stripe you had to create a product for each subscription. So even if it was the same product but it had a different variation like monthly, yearly, quantity, you'd have to create a whole new product. So this is actually much nicer and easier to manage. Now, the nickname for this pricing plan. So we know this is window cleaning, but it's what window cleaning? It's monthly window cleaning, okay? It's weekly window cleaning, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it weekly. Now this is not visible to the customer, okay? This is for your purposes. This is so you can identify what these plans are. Now this is the ID I was talking about. We've got to make sure that the system will auto-generate IDs, but it's gonna be some crazy long old thing. So with this one, I like to create my own IDs. Now I don't make them super simple because it's not as cut and dry as now if you're doing a membership site, it could just be your membership level. If you're doing something like in this scenario, window cleaning, I'm going to do WC underscore weekly. So window cleaning weekly. Okay. And I'm going to need to remember that because when I set this same product up in my actual live products, I need to use that same ID, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is reoccurring quantity or metered usage. So reoccurring quantity is that it's just going to reoccur based on whatever the structure I give it, monthly, weekly, blah blah blah. Metered usage would be more like your cell phone, right? So you pay after you've used your minutes, you pay after you used your data. Okay, so they can charge you more if you go over. Does this pricing plan have multiple tiers? So we're talking about how products can have multiple pricing options, and now you have pricing options that can have multiple tiers. Okay, so multiple tier for window cleaning could be something like let me think here. If the total quantity is something, or the other option is for the first, right? So you could do for the first so many windows, the price is different. You could set it. Excuse me. You can set it so that so it would be like 12, right? So for the first 0 to 12 windows, the pricing unit is, we'll say, I don't know, $70 per service. And then after that, it's 13 to, these are just numbers I'm throwing out there, it means nothing. Maybe the price goes down to $65, okay? So just gives you variation options so that you can present people based on quantity, okay? Quantity of what you're planning. So these could be like 0 to 12 windows, it's $70 per service. 13 to 20 windows, it's $65 per service, which doesn't make sense, right? Because you wouldn't want to make less money for doing more. So let's just say it goes up to 120, whatever, just as an example. Okay, I'm going to drop that for now, but I just want you to see how that works in quantity. So what's the unit price going to be? So if you're doing window cleaning weekly, again, this is a little more broad. Something like this you may have to be more specific with or general with. Sorry, I mean less general with, so that because it could be based on the size of the house. So it's not just necessarily weekly, but it's weekly single story, or weekly up to 2,000 square feet, something like that. So then you're pricing per unit. So let's see if they got a 2,000 square feet house. I'm going to charge 100. No, this is weekly. So I'm going to charge $40 a week. I don't really know. I'm just making this up as I go, guys. All right, so $45 a week. This is showing monthly. Okay, so this is a weekly service. So ideally, this, who's going to clean the windows weekly is more like going to be a commercial, right? Like probably a store, retail store. So it's going to be billed $45 a week. So $45 billed weekly, and there's no trial period because I'm not giving them any free service here. Okay, and there's really no limit until I turn it off, okay, or until they cancel. All right, so then we would just click on Add Pricing Plan. And now we have our pricing plan under our window cleaning product, okay? And then, like I said, we can add multiple pricing plans, So this one may be monthly, or sorry, let's do weekly. Um, let's say it goes up to 4,000 square feet. Okay, and then this one is going to be WC underscore um, weekly 4K. Okay, you don't have to do the underscores. I do that because by nature. Um, so that way I know this one is for 4,000 square feet. So pricing on this one is going to double. So this one's going to be $90 a week. Square footage doubled. That's going to double. This is going to be billed weekly. No trial. And then add my pricing. Okay. And then again, I can do that for however many different pricing plans I want under this specific product of window cleaning. Okay. So let's do a scenario where it's a subscription product for something like software or a physical service, or I mean um, like a service you're going to perform, right? So like what I do, my service is all around support, providing support. So the product name here, let's say we're going to sell let's do website support. Okay. Unit label, I'm going to leave that blank. The statement description, I'm going to do, tech geek, sorry, web geek support. Remember, this is on the statement. This is what they see on their statement. The idea is to make this identifiable so when they look at their bank statement, because they may have never called you, they may have never needed support, but they subscribed, or they needed support once, but they subscribed, and you did such a good job, they kept you on, but now they're paying for it, but they're not using it, and they forget about it. So when they see this charge on their statement every month, you want them to be able to identify what it is, so it doesn't just get marked as fraud or disputed by the bank. So we're going to create that product, and now we're going to do our product name. So with this one, website support, we can have a couple of options. We can say, you do like basic, right? So basic support. So again, we want to give them IDs because we got to match these up on our live products. So this is, we'll do support, basic. So that's support basic monthly. This is reoccurring quantity. Okay, so unit price here. For this basic plan, they're going to pay, I don't know, let's just say $50 per month. Okay, that's right. And then we'll go ahead and add pricing plan. Okay, we'll add another one. We're going to say this is advanced support. So this is going to be advanced month. Okay, because it's going to be monthly. This one, let's say it's $150 a month. Okay, per unit. We'll add that pricing plan. We'll do one more. This one we're going to call ecom. Okay, so it's going to be for e-commerce website support underscore ecom underscore monthly, and then this one we'll say it's like $260 per month. Okay, then we add that one. All right, so we've got pricing plans for that. We got website support with 3 pricing plans. We got window cleaning with 2 pricing plans. So what if you're selling a course, or you're selling access to a program, or you're where they're going to pay for continual access? WP Simple Pay will work for that. Okay, you could do that. There's going to be some manual management involved for you because it doesn't necessarily integrate with with any like program that's going to protect your content, right? So you can use WP Simple Pay to take the payments, um, but then you're going to have another function, another tool that's actually managing the membership or the course access, okay? And these two won't necessarily talk. Now, WP Simple Pay is now part of the digital downloads family, um, so there's some integration there that they're refining and improving, but but you can still do this. You know, maybe you're charging a one-off payment. Again, one-off payments we would set up directly inside of the WP Simple Pay plugin, which we'll do in another video. Um, but but yeah, maybe maybe they pay monthly and you don't they get access to this whole course, and then you just shut them down if they ever cancel. Okay, you shut down their access if they cancel. So you can still use this for taking money for anything really. It's just a matter of if it integrates. There's no like manual integration with a lot of things like membership sites and all that stuff. Ideally, we're using this to make it easy for us to say, hey, these are my services. This is how often you'll get paid, how frequently, and it's going to all be done automatically. Sign up here, right? That's what we're going for. We want to reduce the amount of effort we have to put into billing. So instead of doing subscription or instead of doing invoices every month or every week, they're automatically being charged, and all we're doing is sending them receipts or paid invoice memos, right? So let me show you now. We're going to switch over to live. Let's go ahead, and in the live one, I'm going to just set up the window cleaning one. So we got to remember these things here. What I'm going to do is actually open this up in another window. And then switch to, oops, over here, live products. Okay, and I'm going to add a new product. And this is going to be website support. And I'm going to set this up just like I set it up over there. I left that blank. What did I do? Web Geek Support. Okay, we're going to create this product. And then this first one, we'll look over here, was, sorry, I'm in the wrong product. Website support. The first one was basic. Okay, so I'm going to click on that so I can see, because remember I need this ID right here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that ID, go back over to live, and this is going to be basic. This is my ID, and the price was $50 per unit per month. And we'll add that pricing plan. There we go. So now I have this pricing plan with the same exact ID. So let's go ahead and add the other two pricing plans. So we'll need to go, oops, sorry, click on the wrong thing here. So back into here. So we've got basic done. Now we need to go into advanced. So click on advanced. I need to grab this ID again. This is 150 recurring advanced is the name. So then we'll go here. Paste that in, recurring. This is $150 per unit per month. Add pricing. Okay. And then we will do another pricing plan. And this one was ecom. Alright, we'll click on here because we need to get this ID. So ecom $260 a month. So we'll go back over here. Paste in the ID. It's $260 a month per unit per month. So we'll add that one in. Alright, so now we've got the product set up in test. So we can test it with all the same IDs. But then we got it set up in production so that when we turn off test mode, in WP Simple Pay plugin, it'll all still work. Okay, we'll still have the connections because we won't have to go and recreate the products because everything's going to be set up the same in production as it is in test. All right. So guys, that's really how easy it is to set up your products. Just remember, you're going into billing, into products, and then you'll have the ability to just add new, and you can set up anything that's service, product-based, that's reoccurring inside of this Stripe platform. And then again, in another video, we'll go into how do you actually integrate this into WP Simple Pay. But this is the best way to do it. So please follow this video exactly, because those IDs, again, is super important that they're the same. Okay. That way, because look, let me make sure you understand. If you set up your test products and you use one ID and you set that up in WP Simple Pay and you test it and everything works, when you switch from test to live, or when you turn test off in WP Simple Pay, none of those products are going to actually work because they were just test products. So now you have to go through and set up a whole nother set of products inside of the WP Simple Pay to integrate with your Stripe products, right? And then you can't really test those products unless you actually make a purchase. So by doing it this way, where you're setting up the same exact product and testing as in live with those same IDs, you set it up one time in WP Simple Pay plugin, and then whether you're on test or live, those products are exactly the same, so they're working correctly. Okay, so and I'll show you that again. It may make more sense once we get to the integration of these products and subscriptions into the WP Simple Pay plugin. But please, when you're doing this, follow these instructions to the T when you're setting up your products within within Stripe. All right. So I believe that brings us to the end of Module 3. Okay. So if you haven't already signed up for WP Simple Pay, you're way behind. So go do that. Link is here. GoGet.xyz/simplepay. If you haven't set up Stripe yet, you're going to need to do that if you're going to be creating these products. So head on over to stripe.com. Again, you can reach out to me, chriseggleston.com, any comments there. But also on this page where you're watching this video is the ability to drop comments, so you can do it there. And then, of course, our sponsor, Mantis, white label WordPress support. They are doing white label support for developers and designers, which just basically means they take care of your customers. So if you're providing these services and you want to generate some more additional revenue without having to do additional work, all you got to do is hire Mantis to do all of your subscription or all of your support for your customers. You bill your customers, you pay Mantis, and you get to generate revenues without having to do any extra work. Now, one thing about Mantis is they do also service the website owner. So if you are just a business owner, you're setting this up for your own website, you're not a designer or developer, they will also provide support for you. So you can sign on as an individual or as just the website owner. You don't have to be a designer or developer. Now to get details on both of these things, head on over to wpmantis.com/simplepay and you'll have all the details there. So next module is where we're going to go into plugin setup part 2, basically integrating Stripe with WP Simple Pay plugin, and we'll do all the testing, and then boom, after that you're ready to rock and roll and start making money from your website. So don't quit now. Head on over to the next module and we'll get this thing wrapped up.